It's the pop culture field manual.
Thank you for that one, Stan Bush. Remember, the intro song is by Stan Bush, a family friend of mine. I know a celebrity, everybody. It's crazy. But anyways, welcome to the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast. As always, thank you for listening from your car, because that's where you're probably listening to this podcast.
You probably live in your car at this point.
Probably, because, you know, if you're listening to us, you're probably down in your
You're
life.
wasting your time, actually.
Exactly.
Get out, get a job.
Yeah, go play outside, kids. But anyways, thank you for listening. We are very grateful for your participation in this podcast. My name is Cameron Fath, and I am here, as always, with
Israel Wright. Good to be back with all of you, all three of you.
all three of you. And for those of you wondering, we have 3 cameras in here. So, today's episode is a goodie.
Mm-hmm.
Is a goodie. We are going to be talking about the worst people, and not just, more specifically, soldiers that you've ever seen on the golden screen.
Yes, that's right. Nobody wants to be that guy.
No, you don't want to be that guy.
No, you don't.
Better off dead.
Better off dead. Better you die. Than,
you die.
To make other people die. You know, we've all everybody likes the hero. Everybody aspires to be the hero. Gives us something to reach. Nobody wants to be the guy that messes everything up.
Oh yeah, the coward.
Yeah, the coward that runs away, or at a crucial moment they do something stupid that totally causes a bunch of problems for the main character, or maybe they cause a bunch of people to die because of their incompetence. You know?
Exactly, because their cowardice, their incompetence, their failure to mold into a hero role. They just stay in their cowardice and lie in the bed of lies.
Also, good as cautionary tales in pop culture. Don't be like these characters.
Yeah, if you're gonna be someone, don't be these guys.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Right.
Don't be those guys. Or girls.
Actually,
I think it's all guys on our list. So
Is
girls,
it?
You're good to go.
Girls, you're safe.
You're good.
You're pure. You're pure in heart.
Pure as the driven snow.
Exactly.
Sugar and spice, everything nice.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're Atomic Blonde. Unless you're Charlize Theron.
Have you seen the new movie, Kate?
No, how is it?
It's good.
Yeah?
It's good. She's a badass.
I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Thing remake, or the Thing prequel, I guess it was. But she's a great actress.
She's good.
And she's tall and she's amazing. So.
Yeah, and she really gets after it in this movie. It's good. If you like action, kind of like an anime twist, almost like I want to call it like it's almost like Sucker Punch vibes.
Okay.
So, and I love Sucker Punch.
A little bit of wild colors.
Yeah, it's like wild colors.
Design.
Like, yeah, it's really good. Strong woman character. She kicks fucking ass, and she just destroys the Yakuza.
Nice.
It's badass. So go check out Kate on Netflix. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about bad fucking soldiers.
That's right.
And if you want to start it off, we have one that I think everybody knows. Because if you're called this, you're throwing fists. That kind of rhymed, didn't it?
That was pretty
If you're
amazing.
called this, you're throwing fists.
Are we just starting at the top of the list? Cause
I'm starting second on the list because I got to talk about it.
Oh, we got to talk about him first.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So we're going to talk about Full Metal Jacket, 1987, Vincent D'Onofrio's character, Private Pyle.
Private Pyle. If you've ever been called a pile, you should probably kill yourself.
You need to reevaluate your aspirations and goals in life. Yes.
Exactly. Private Pyle is the epitome of that dude, right? We're talking about that guy.
Yeah.
He is that guy.
Yep.
He is the epitome of the worst of the worst. Just someone you don't want to serve with, someone you don't want to deploy with, because at the end of the day, A, they're going to get someone killed, or B, they're going to get multiple people killed.
Yeah. Let's pause.
Big meanie.
All right, go ahead.
Because A, they're going to get someone killed, and B, they're going to get multiple people killed and probably yourself. So a little bit of background on Gomer Pyle. It's Full Metal Jacket opens up with, U.S. Marine Corps boot camp.
Yep.
Iconic drill sergeant. What's his name?
R. Lee Ermey.
He
was an actual Marine, and he had done some acting before, and he was actually the consultant for the film.
Yes.
And there was another actor doing the drill sergeant stuff, but he couldn't do it as good as R. Lee Ermey did it. So we're just gonna have R. Lee Ermey do it.
Yeah.
And
Rest in peace, R. Lee.
Killed it, because I think a lot of his stuff ended up being improvised lines.
I'm sure.
All the amazing lines he came up, all the insults. Amazing, iconic character. Yes.
Super iconic, and It's funny because like I think about iconic like drill sergeant roles and like or just drill sergeant role relationship with soldiers because you think about Forrest Gump, right?
Yeah.
And then the drill sergeant loves Forrest Gump. He's like, God damn it, Gump, that's the best answer I've ever heard in my life.
You're a miracle, son.
Yeah. So and that's like a compliment, even though you're being spit, you haven't spit in your face. But Private Pyle is not a Forrest Gump.
No.
He's just a fancy way to put it, a retard. So
he is. Let's go break it down. Like he's a bit of a fat body.
yeah,
He
he's
lacks
out of shape
discipline. He lacks self-control.
because of the he stores donuts in his Foot Locker.
Yeah,
and he gets
yeah.
everybody smoked. The big thing in basic training is how they kind of correct the odd one out is with group punishment.
Group punishment, yeah.
Because when you punish the group, and I'm guilty of this too, in Ranger Regiment, when you punish the group, all the wolves start to smell blood too. And then they will handle it at their level. Because, I mean, I don't want to deal with it. It's too easy for me to say, hey, instead of singling someone out and having everybody just watch, it's way too easy for me to just be like, all right, everybody. You know, I'm going to make this guy a common enemy so you square him away at your level.
And the idea of group punishment is to emphasize the fact that you are part of a unit now, and the things you do don't just affect you; they affect everybody around you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's why you got to police yourself, or
Yeah.
or you will be policed.
Yeah.
Especially
you
in
police
this
yourself up, cuz.
this scenario. Yeah, and this is like we can have a conversation about the kinder, gentler army these days, but back then, especially the Vietnam era, like it was hardcore basic training. It was like do or die.
It was.
Thing,
Yeah, it was adapt or die. Adapt or fall off. And I mean, Gomer Pyle nowadays is actually used as an insult.
Mm-hmm.
So if you call someone Private Pyle, it's like calling them a no good,
Slacker,
stupid slacker, out of shape.
Can't cut it.
Yeah, can't cut it, and like you don't want to be that guy.
No. Now it should be it should be said, like, we can take like a serious moment with like that. Vincent D'Onofrio's character is like we can be a little sympathetic towards him, because he
obviously there's something wrong.
Yeah, there was a situation, where he was put into this situation. Maybe he should have never signed up, and then he was put in an unforgiving situation, and it really kind of pushed him over the edge.
It does.
Which ends up happening in the film.
Yeah, spoilers, people. I mean, the film came out
spoilers.
over 30 years ago.
yeah, you get spoilers. Spoilers.
Yeah, Private Pyle at the end, towards when they start receiving their assignments, because of the constant punishment from the drill sergeant or the DIs, drill instructor in the Marine Corps, and the punishment he receives, because I mean that's where the soap party came.
That's where the soap party came.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, a soap party is when in the middle of the night everybody puts a bar of soap, or you can do an orange because oranges don't leave bruises.
Yes, good tips, folks. If you ever have that soap party coming up, you lack that soap.
Yeah, if you got one guy that you hate, everybody in the middle of the night, make sure he's on top bunk, and they just pull on the sheet so it kind of pins him on each side of the bed, and everybody comes and puts a soap in their sock and just smack him with the soap. And they, obviously
avoid
muffle
the face.
him. Yeah, avoid the face and just hurt him.
Whole body shots.
Yeah, so after all that constant, physical and then emotional trauma, he's sitting there before with his rifle cleaning it, and he gets his hands on some live ammo. He's in the bathroom, basically just looking crazy.
Yeah.
And the fire watch that's on duty comes in, sees him with the rifle, and they're like, hey, what the heck?
Matthew Modine is in it, and his buddy. Yep. They're like trying to calm him. They're like, hey, man, it's all right. Then the drill sergeant comes in.
7.62.
Yeah. Full metal jacket.
And the DI comes back in, and he's even in that type, he handled that terribly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even in that type of scenario, when he knows he's got a loaded weapon,
he thinks he's just gonna shout him down.
He thinks he's just gonna shout him down. He's like, hey, you fucking idiot. Give me that gun right now! And he kills the DI and then proceeds to blow his brain out.
Yep. And that's essentially the first half of the movie, and the rest of the movie is them in Vietnam, But that movie,
you got a boyfriend in Vietnam?
We love you long time.
We love you long time. Oh, me so horny.
Very many iconic lines.
Very iconic, yeah. But anyways, don't be Private Pyle.
Yeah, and also maybe watch out for that guy that might be a Private Pyle, because you never know if he might snap.
Exactly. And it happens a lot. It happens quite a bit.
I got a story for you.
I know. Save it to the end.
All right.
Save it to the end. All right. We'll talk about the next one.
Next one I want to talk about, actually, we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but I want to talk about Michael Biehn's character, Lieutenant Coffey from The Abyss, the 1989 James Cameron movie, The Abyss.
Okay, you gotta talk about this one because it's been a long time since I've seen The Abyss. The last time I've seen it, all I remember is that's one of the first times I've ever seen boobies in my life. Is when they rip her shirt open and start
wow.
They're trying to revive her.
The context is completely not sexual.
Oh yeah, no. They're trying to save her life, and like
I just love that that's what you took away from it.
yeah, no, I remember because I was in a music studio with my dad because he brought me because my dad's a musician, and I was sitting in the little like watching The Abyss, and all of a sudden boobs on the TV. Non-intentional. They're trying to save her life by giving her chest compressions, but her boobie's just sitting there, and I'm there, 7 years old, just jaw on the floor. But anyways, The Abyss. Go back to who do you not want to be?
Who do you don't want to be, Lieutenant Coffey? So it's undersea rig. They got to go rescue a submarine, and there's also undersea aliens involved, which is amazing. I mean, James Cameron, God love him, he always puts all my favorite stuff into his movies, But he's a SEAL, right? He's Lieutenant Coffey, and there's a SEAL team that goes down there, and they have a separate mission to get a nuclear weapon. It's like a secret mission because they think maybe this is during like Cold War era type stuff. They think the Russians are going to be involved or whatever. So there's a little bit of commentary in that regard. But he starts his first mistake in the movie is that he starts getting symptoms of what they call HPNS, high pressure nervous syndrome. So they go down way underneath, and sometimes she's like, Mary Elizabeth Master Antonio's character, she sometimes get hack it, and he starts getting those tremors and stuff, and he hides it like that. He's a guy. He's like, he's overconfident, and he's a bit of a he's a hard charger, but he's
arrogant. And
he's arrogant, yeah, and he thinks
not humble,
not humble, not like a team player in that, he kind of throws his weight around, and he doesn't want to cooperate with the civilians, and as he gets more and more paranoid. Like, he starts making more and more rash decisions. And even some of his own guys are like, what are you doing? This isn't our mission. Like, when he, starts to arm the nuclear warhead they get, and all that kind of stuff, then he just totally cracks and goes over the edge, And so he's not a thinker, We like Haley strategic, thinkers before shooters. Mm-hmm. He's not a thinker. He feels like he's like one of the characters calls him AJ squared away AJ jarhead robot guy,
Oh man.
Just like, real clean cut, and there's a place for that, but his internal workings, his character is flawed, and so he takes those skills and he puts them not to good use, and he ends up putting everybody in danger. There's a great I don't know that I've ever seen a more exciting submarine fight and chase scene in a movie.
Just real slow-mo.
Yeah, and they're like hitting each other, and he ends up getting how he dies is they're like two of the submarines crash together and they both break down, and he's like kind of hanging over the edge of a cliff, and then it breaks off and he falls down into the abyss, and eventually his submarine just gets crushed like
by the pressure.
By the pressure.
Oh man.
The reason why he's on this list is because not because he was a soldier, but because he didn't communicate. He wasn't honest. He wasn't humble. He was an individual. His own limitations. Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, he was. He was an individual. And he didn't use his skills and his authority for good things. He turned inward and he internalized, and he didn't seek help. And stuff. Yeah. And that's there's this thing in the military, and there's this kind of macho persona and stuff, but they make a big deal out of saying like, look, if you need help. If
just ask for it, man.
Just ask for you. The whole battle buddy thing. It's kind of cheesy and stuff, but like the idea is that you are on a team and these people are here to help you.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that, and he put everybody's
You're
lives
of
in danger.
no help unless you help yourself first.
Right.
So yeah, you can't be a good team member if you're not even a member yourself. So
That's
you
right.
got to be there. You got to prioritize your own mental health. I mean, I'm a big component of counseling, right? You need to be able to talk and express your feelings, and just like you said, there's a macho persona in the military where it's like feelings are bad. If you have feelings, you're gonna die. You're weak and you're gonna die. And that's not the case, because at the end of the day, when you can choose to be vulnerable and you can choose to communicate effectively and tell people how you really feel, it's gonna end up being better. You're gonna feel better. You're gonna work through your demons, and you're gonna be a better part of the team.
And you're not gonna get crushed in a submarine.
Yeah, you're not gonna die of pressure.
Of the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let that be a lesson to all you SEALs out there.
Exactly. Get it together. But let's jump to the next one here. So I actually want to talk about this one because I feel like it's almost the same character, almost in the way of like the arrogance. So in Platoon 1996, right? Tom Berenger.
1986, yeah.
86. Correction. Tom Berenger plays Sergeant Barnes. And if you've seen Platoon or have heard of Platoon, you know who we're talking about. He's got the big old scar on his face.
Yep.
He's the downright Vietnam fighter type.
He's been in it a long
It's do or die.
Yeah.
He wears a bandana in Vietnam. And, he is brutal and he's mean and he's cynical. And, he ends up killing his own teammate.
Yeah,
out of
dude.
pure hate.
The coolest dude. Like, I love Sergeant Elias,
dude.
Willem Dafoe's character.
Yeah.
And you know who it is because if you've ever seen the poster, he's the guy with his arms up in the air and he gets shot in the back. Because, I love that scene that we just talking about for a second where Sergeant Elias is like, he's like in the zone. He's running around. Yeah, he's running around and he's shooting guys. Yeah, and he's doing his thing, and then he sees Tom Berenger's character, and he's like, gives him a smile because he thinks like they're still cool.
Yeah,
they had an argument first, and then Sergeant Barnes just shoots him.
Shoots him right there. Yeah,
and then they're all leaving, and as they're leaving, they see he's still alive and he's running.
Yeah, because Sergeant Barnes told them he's gone. He died.
Yeah.
Just leave him. We gotta go. Even though he killed him, so they're loading the choppers up, and they're like, wait. And if you've ever seen Tropic Thunder, in the beginning scene, beginning scene of Tropic Thunder is literally modeled after Platoon in this scene. So Willem Dafoe's running from running from Charlie, and he's trying to go, even though he's shot, and they see him, and all of a sudden he gets capped and just goes down to his knees. Iconic, hands above the head.
The sad
music. The sad part. But, man, that guy, you don't kill your own guys.
No.
And... I'm glad he got what was coming to him in the end when Charlie Sheen gives him, gives him the old 1-2 at the end. Well, it's not the 1-2. It's more like if you want to call it a trigger squeeze. But,
Charlie. Yeah, I love that scene because it's like after, because Sergeant Barnes tries to kill Charlie Sheen's character. They're fighting, with enemy, and then Sergeant Barnes just goes crazy, starts killing, tries to kill everybody. Yeah. And they get the air support bomb, and it's the next day. They're kind of crawling out of the foxholes, and Charlie Sheen's got the gun on Sergeant Barnes. The guy's like, "Do it," and he does it.
Yeah, he does. Charlie Sheen's character development's really good in that movie. He goes from being like the coward to basically you just see what Vietnam does.
He's kind of like I think that was kind of the general commentary from Oliver Stone at the time. About the effects of Vietnam.
The Vietnam make you go crazy, man. A real apocalypse now, descent into darkness type of thing. But yeah, man, Sergeant Barnes, real big meanie head. If and that's putting it lightly.
That's right. That was my comment.
That was your card. Yeah,
big meanie.
Whoa, Kitty's got claws. Meanie head.
Meanie head.
Let's tone it down.
Big dumb fucking idiot.
Whoa.
But, you don't want to be that guy going around killing his own guys. And, one last thing about him is you can see the two different types of NCO here. And that's, Tom Berenger's character is the stern, we're here to survive, man. You just got to do what it takes to survive, regardless of morality.
You don't know about death.
Yeah, you don't know about
death.
He's like, he has no values. He just is there to survive. And then you have Willem Dafoe's character, Sergeant Elias, and he's the caring NCO. He actually gives a crap about his men, you know. He worries about their well-being. He takes shotgun bong rips with his boys. Yeah, when they're all getting fucking loco in the bunker, because that's Vietnam. He's the man. You want to be Sergeant Elias. You don't want to be Sergeant Barnes. Don't want to be that guy. Next soldier.
Next one. I want to talk about this one just because I want to get a video game in there.
Do it, nerd.
We're going to go down to Brad Chickenheart Vickers, a member of the STARS elite police squad in the Resident Evil games. He's featured in Resident Evil 1, and then the remake, and then Resident Evil 3, and then the remake for that. He's got a bit more of a prominent role, but he's a member of STARS, which is, like I said, this elite kind of SWAT-type unit in Raccoon City. Jill Valentine is there, they're partners and stuff, and he is the one who basically causes the events of the first video game because he's the helicopter pilot at the time. And they land in the Arkley Mountains next to the mansion, and they start getting attacked by the zombie dogs. And what does he do? He leaves them there.
He abandons them.
Yeah, he leaves them back. And then now he kind of redeems himself at the end of the first game because he's circling the area, and you hear radio transmissions from him throughout the game. And then at the last boss fight, he drops the rocket launcher to help you out, and then he finally flies you out before the whole place explodes. So he does have a bit of a redemption story, but they call him Chickenheart, Brad Chickenheart Vickers, because he's
chicken.
Yeah, he's chicken. He doesn't take the initiative. He's really like weak-willed and and escape. He's only worried about himself, his own survival and stuff like that. They kind of give him a little bit more depth in the Resident Evil 3 remake, where he kind of he helps Jill out, and the city's being overrun by zombies, and he ends up getting bit. And he's like, I'll hold the door and you can go and stuff like that. So it's good on him for at least the moment before he dies.
It's weird, man, because all of these characters have a common theme, and it's all just individualistic. They need to survive. That's what I've noticed after talking about 3 of these guys so far. Is they're all just in it for themselves.
Right.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, I know we talk about things that make us cry.
Yeah, man. We're sensitive human beings.
Foreshadowing. Self-sacrifice, right. Self-sacrifice is the biggest thing. It's like you're willing to put your safety aside to help others.
That's right.
And I mean, that's a big theme. I mean, that's what we preach in like the values of the military.
And it's a baseline human self-preservation is a baseline human like drive. Like everybody understands the idea of self-preservation. So the idea of self-sacrifice, it's almost kind of one of those. I mean, it's a biblical idea. It's a Christian idea. It's an idea in a lot of different spiritualities and stuff. It's a
Cameron idea.
It's a Cameron idea. The religion of Cameron, the Marauder Vikings.
Yeah.
Self-sacrifice basically.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So that there seems to be a common theme here. People
good
self-sacrifice.
Good eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, that character. I mean, anybody that leaves their own men, especially in a shit. There's ways out. I've watched enough Walking Dead to where you don't leave your people because there's always a way out. And I'd rather go out fighting in a pile of my own brass than on my knees like a f***ing coward.
That's right.
I always say that. But
anyway, Brad Vickers, good mention. I like how they kind of gave him a little more depth in the remake, because they kind of you just kind of see him in Resident Evil, I think 2. You just see him as a zombie. You're like, oh, he got his just desserts. But in Resident Evil 3 remake, you can see that he gets a bit of a redemption story. So good for Brad.
Good for him. I want to talk about this one. I know we've mentioned. I'm pretty sure we talked about this guy before in a previous episode, but he has to come back just because he's a raging example of I know, and with the whole Afghanistan thing and the accountability of leadership and officers really being under the microscope. Captain Sobel from Band of Brothers. I mean, I will never not think this guy is a complete mega douche.
Yep.
Because here we go. This reoccurring theme here, self-preservation. He's only concerned about his career. He's only concerned about his promotion. He doesn't really care for the welfare of his soldiers, and that's extremely evident from episode 1.
Yep.
He takes Easy Company. He takes Easy Company underneath his wing, and he thinks he's doing them a solid by just being a motherfucker.
Yep. And
I mean, Airborne at the first, that's when it was first stood up. So I know it's a big deal, and learning to jump from airplanes. But you can see, when he's trying to jump out of an airplane, he has hesitation in his face. And it's like he's scared as shit, and he honestly doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
But
he's incompetent.
He's incompetent as an officer, but he refuses to, self-analyze, self-reflect, like, hey, maybe I'm not in the right, place here, but I'm still going to do what I think an officer should do, which is completely the wrong answer.
Yep.
And I mean, you see it in the military. You see, leaders who have no idea what they're doing and fail to admit that. And so they start, harping and pushing an agenda that they think is the right answer, which completely just utterly f***s their people.
Right.
And I'm glad, he eventually promotes himself out, which he got what he wanted. He wanted the promotion, and he leaves his section with an extremely competent officer, finally. But I mean,
I feel like they kind of in the show, if I'm remembering it right, they kind of they do that. They promote him, quote unquote, in order to just get him out of the way and remove him from a crucial command position.
Absolutely, because I mean, in the training, when they're his NCOs, his lower officers on the totem pole are telling him, he's like, this is a bad thing. He's like, we should stay right here, and he's just like, no, we need to move. We're not in the right spot. We need to move. And he's just like, you really need to stay here. And then they move, and boom, they get surrounded. And just not considering the expertise of his NCOs. He's not considering he's not even taking in any advice.
Yeah.
He's not taking any
Not
assistance.
humble enough to kind
no,
of
it's his way or the highway.
Utilize the skills of the men around him, which is
Exactly.
an aspect of good leadership.
Oh, it is, because I mean, if you're reading like any TM on just like the composition of an entire platoon, right? I mean, everything in the military is doctrine. I mean, everything. How to tie your shoes is written down somewhere, you know.
Somewhere.
And like, I mean, looking at the roles and responsibilities of NCOs, it's like literally anything from team leader up states advise and assist platoon sergeant to you. You're there to offer, you know, your experience.
You're there to serve.
Yeah, you're there to offer your experience. You're there to offer your expertise, and it's not telling the officer what to do, but he should be humble enough to take everybody's advice and everybody's, you know, opinion and use that to make the best decision. But Captain Sobel will always just throw everybody's opinion away and do what he thinks is best, even though he's incompetent. And you never want to be that guy.
I'm just also noticing like this common theme is arrogance.
Extremely, yes.
Like arrogance seems like a big thing that
Putting
gets in
yourself
the way.
above other, thinking that you're better than everybody.
You're better than
your opinion
everybody.
matters just because it's your opinion, you know. Yeah. No, it's very common.
And I will tell you, the best officer I ever had was a dude that, I'm not going to mention any names because I'm not sure if he's still in, but he was prior enlisted, so that was a win. So he got it, you know.
Yep.
He understood what the men go through.
Yep.
And then he literally stepped up one day in front of the platoon and he said, I don't know shit. He's like, you guys understand how to run this platoon. You've been doing it way longer. You tell me what you need to get done, and I will do everything in my power to get it done. And that was probably the smoothest, you know, because PLs go like this in Ranger Regiment.
Yeah.
And that was the smoothest PL I've ever had. I mean, the other guys were good too as an officer level, but I've never actually had like a relationship with my PL where I'm like, this guy's badass. I love this guy.
That's cool. I had a similar experience in SF when the best captain. We had good captains. I was on two different teams. We had good captains on both teams, but they understood that their purpose was to facilitate what the senior NCO and the team needed to get done, and they both understood that. So I really appreciated both of them, both of my captains.
So that is the secret sauce, right? Is an NCO-driven organization, which is primarily in special operations now, versus, you know, being in the National Guard. I've seen what the conventional military is like. Well, I mean, the National Guard is a little bit of a lower expectation than, you know, regular Army. But even conventional force is all officer-driven. And you have these college guys come in, you know, get tab butter bar, you know, first lieutenant. And they're doing it, but they're pretty fresh. And they don't, a lot of time, it's arrogance that I see in, you know, not really efficient platoons. And that's what, you know, drives negative results. NCO driven, when you have that expertise and you have that, you know, cohesion, and, you know, you've worked together for a long time, because officers come and go like this. They're promoting or they're getting out. And NCOs stay and, you know, develop, and they grow up in that platoon. That's where I really see, you know, positive growth and positive efficiency. But anyways, rant over.
Don't be Captain Sobel.
Don't be that guy.
At
Don't be a
any
captain.
level
At any
of
level.
command, you don't want to be.
Yeah. Be humble. Listen to your NCOs. If you're NCO, offer advice. And if they say you f off, and offer some advice again.
That's right. There you go.
It's at a later time. Do your job.
Next guy. This one is this is a great character study. The actor does a really good job, and the movie is a really good movie. Courage Under Fire, 1996. Louis Gossett Jr. is the actor. Monfreeze is the guy this time. And for those that don't know, it's kind of an investigation movie. It's kind of a murder mystery, if you will, or a mystery where
Denzel Washington.
Man. Denzel Washington is an officer who's investigating the Medal of Honor nomination of a female pilot, Meg Ryan, who died in combat, right, in Iraq. And he goes around and he asks different soldiers who were there, and he kind of gets a different version of events every time. So you actually get to see it, kind of jumps into it in a flashback, and you get to see, well, how did they react according to this guy's story? How did they react according to this guy's story? And everything's a little bit different. And then at the end, you find out what actually happened. Like, so when he goes to Monfreeze is this super macho, really athletic dude. He's like that hard charger, kind of the machismo guy. You know, he's real cocky and self-assured. And he gives his version of events, and it's like he portrays Meg Ryan's characters like she's sniveling and crying, you know, and he's like the one that takes charge, and like,
really?
you know, she gets shot by an enemy guy, and he kind of takes over with the saw and defends them and he presents himself as like the hero, you know?
Like macho.
Exactly, yeah. But he's real, like when Denzel tries to pick a little bit at it and dig deeper, he gets real like combative and real like threatening and almost like kind of
Like he's hiding something.
Yeah,
And
like
that's like his defense.
Exactly.
It's just
yeah,
aggression.
The defenses go up. And so later on, when Denzel Washington finds out the truth, he goes back and he tries to confront Louis Gossett Jr.'s character again. And
Hold on 1 second. It's not Lou Gossett Jr. It's Lou Diamond Phillips.
oh my God, Louis Gossett Jr. That's the black guy. Oh God.
Yeah, that's the guy from
we-
Iron Eagle and
Lou Diamond Phillips. Lou.
yeah. If you want to, I can probably cut that first one. If you want to just start back and say then Monfreeze, blah blah blah.
Thank you, gee whiz.
Yeah, I just knew. Like when you started describing it as the macho and this guy, I was like, that's not Lou Gossett.
That's not that guy.
That's the guy from Iron
He's
Eagle.
older than Denzel Washington. Yeah, he's the guy from Iron Eagle and
All right.
Firewalker with Chuck Norris. Anyway,
Which one should I start with? When he goes back or when he interviews him the first time? Like,
just what you were
Okay.
just talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
so later on, when Denzel finds out more information, he goes to confront Monfreeze. They get into a car and they go to, and Monfreeze pulls a gun on him, and and he's like, you think you can make me confess or whatever?
You
He's
think
like,
you're better than
he's
me?
Like, yeah, he's like, you think you're better than me? You think you know what happened? Went there. You think
Yeah.
it went down? And he doesn't say much. He doesn't reveal what happened, but he parks on like the train tracks. When a train's coming, he tells Denzel to get out, and Denzel's like, "What are you doing? You gotta!" And then, Lou Diamond Phillips, he turns down the track and he just guns it towards the train and just slams right into it and kills himself. So that he was carrying something that was such a burden, such a guilt-ridden burden
That he had to rid himself of
Yeah,
it.
he offed himself.
Jeez.
And then you find out at the end that when there's a situation, they crash and then they're kind of holed up, surrounded by enemy soldiers, and Meg Ryan wants to do one thing and Monfreeze wants to do the other thing, and he like tries to mutiny. He's like, well, maybe you're not command anymore, And when they get attacked, he fires at an enemy, kind of sprays kind of laterally and strafes, and he actually hits Meg Ryan. He actually shoots her and
shoots
injures
her?
her. Yeah, he's the one that shot her and injured her. And then at the end, when they're all getting evac'd, she's defending the position. She's like, you go back, get more men, come back for me. She's like, I can't run. And they go to the helicopter, and they all get on. They're like, where's the captain? And he says she's dead. And they're like about to firebomb like the entire valley.
No.
And
He
so,
pulled basically a Sergeant Barnes, right?
Pull the Sergeant Barnes, exactly, yeah. And so they take off, and they see the whole valley gets firebombed with napalm, and they know she's dead. And that guilt, it was like
He left
carried
her
it with him.
behind,
He
yeah.
left her behind, and he basically
Just
responsible
cared about
for her death.
his survival.
Exactly.
Recurring theme.
Yep, exactly.
Self-preservation, just individualistic. Only do what you do to survive.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't want to be that guy.
And he ended up, he had the character's great because he had enough of a conscience that he knew what he did was like, well, at least in his mind, was unforgivable, and he couldn't. He didn't reach out, he didn't tell the truth, and he ended up just eating him out inside, so he ended up just killing himself.
Yeah.
So it was wild, man. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like an appropriate punishment.
Yes.
Just kidding. That's brutal.
Just
But
ultimate
yeah,
justice.
don't want to be that guy
Don't be
on
that
both
guy.
ends. Don't run yourself into a train, but also don't leave your men and women behind
That's
in a
right.
battle.
Just
But-
don't lie.
But on the concept of, that guy, I know we've talked about some, military, or we've talked about some pop culture people that, are that guy. I know you were telling me you have a story of that guy.
Dude, I have the guy.
The guy. You got the guy?
Yeah.
Let's hear it, dude. I'm stoked. Let's talk about
So
it.
this is a real life story. This is somebody that I actually knew, and it's just for those spoilers. This is pretty dark. What this individual ended up
So
doing.
turn it up.
So turn it up. Yeah, that's right. Get the kids out of the room, or bring them in if you were like my parents. You're like, it's fine as long as there's no boob.
Yeah, there is no boobs in this podcast, sadly.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to tune on to the YouTube for that.
No flappy sacks of
Yeah.
fat. Yeah, as Cameron likes to say. So I went to basic training in 2005. I joined the Army in 2005, went to basic training, and there was this guy there, and he was that guy. Not in like that he wasn't like he didn't do his training and stuff, but he was he's a weirdo. He kept to himself. Whenever he did say something, it was always weird and like kind of creepy and stuff. And so everyone just kind of kept their distance. I don't know that anybody I don't know if he had any friends or anything like that. And for those that are paying close attention to our podcast, I've talked about him before in a general way, where he was like the dude when we were out in the field and he ate like a live frog, just cause, or whatever.
Just weird.
Yeah, just the weirdo, man. And so you do your basic training and everybody goes to a different unit and then you forget about it. A couple of years later, I heard about this story, very, very sad, very horrible story of a couple of soldiers in Iraq in 2006 that went off their post and they went and they raped and murdered a little Iraqi girl and they killed almost her entire family and then they set her body on fire. It was this horrible act, this war crime. You want to talk about war crimes? Horrible, heinous war crime. And there were 4 soldiers, and I remember reading the article, and I look at the pictures of the dude that perpetrated it, and there it was. This guy, Steve Allen Green, was like the main perpetrator. And you read the details, and he's like talking about it and bragging about it after the fact. It was just like this horrible thing.
Human being, just terrible
just
person.
A piece of human debris. But like he obviously had mental instability. Like he was like diagnosed and stuff with like antisocial disorder and things like that. And I guess he just slipped through the crack,
and that happens.
The military, and that
happens a
unfortunately,
lot.
It does, So I remember reading about that, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's the guy that I went to basic training."
The guy, he's that guy.
He is that guy in the most horrible way. I know that Brian De Palma had a movie called Redacted in like 2007 that used this story as like the basis for for the film and stuff like that. Thankfully, he was discharged after he came back, and then when it came to light what had happened, he was arrested, he was tried, convicted, life in prison or life sentence. But then he actually committed suicide or attempted to commit suicide in 2014, and then died from the complications of that suicide attempt. So thankfully, he's roasting in hell now.
So. Man, brutal. Yeah, don't be that
Please
guy. If you're gonna try to not be one of these people, that is the guy.
Don't be
you
that
definitely
guy.
Want to be.
You be Tom Berenger, just don't be this guy.
Yeah, literally. Oh man, that's brutal, man. Well, I'm glad
Crazy.
He's gone now because we don't need that. Nobody needs that.
Yeah, and let me just say one more thing on it, because we're that's like we generally try to stay pretty lighthearted and stuff, but like all these things, like there's somewhere along the way, somebody could have said something, somebody could have tried to talk to him, somebody could have reached out and been proactive, or maybe an officer or an NCO somewhere along the way could have been like, hey, let's take some extra time with this guy, or let's this guy's not right in the head, let's like get him out. But like it's a lot, it's complicated. Those resources are there, and somebody should have said something, and maybe I should have said something. I remember how he acted and stuff, and then I remember hearing about what he had done. It was this kind of tragic feeling of like, oh, I'm not surprised that was him, because he was a total weirdo. Now, you don't think that somebody's going to do something like that, and maybe that was part of the problem of why I didn't say it, because you just don't think it would happen to anything or anyone close to you,
Yeah. But
anyway, there's stuff out there. Mental health is a big thing. They've done a better job in the military of really advocating for that and stuff like that. And so, if you're having problems out there,
seek help.
If you see something, seek help, man. It's out there. I guarantee you it's out there.
Yeah, the resources are there. You're not alone.
Yeah.
Seek help. Well, on that note, let's get happy.
On a cheerful note.
How about a happy little game
Let's do
here?
A game.
How about a game to end on?
Let's do a happy little game.
Good.
A little lighthearted. I mean, thank you for sharing that story, Israel, because I think we do keep things light, but it is important to, sometimes talk about real stuff.
Yeah.
But on that note, we're going to play a game, and the game is a game of chicken. But this
gay
isn't
chicken.
No.
Oh,
a game of chicken.
Oh, okay.
Just keep your fantasies to yourself, Cameron. So this isn't a regular game of chicken. So there are bad soldier and characters, and then there are cowards. All right. In this game, I'm going to name a character in a movie or video game who's a chicken, and you'll tell me, 1, what movie or game they're from, and 2, how they died.
Oh.
If they died. So strap in or strap on, whatever floats your boat, and let's get going. All right. So
I thought you said this wasn't gay chicken.
Maybe it's a subconscious thing. I don't know. Okay. So here's the warm-up. All right, so I'm going to give you the character name, and then you tell me the movie, and then you tell me how they died, if they died. All right? Carter Burke. This is the warm-up.
Wait, what's the first? I know how they die.
So tell me the movie.
Okay, that's Aliens.
Okay. And then you tell me how that character dies in Aliens.
Actually, if you want to get real granular, he locks everybody away and tries to escape, and then there's an alien that looks like he chomps him. But if you go to, there's a cut scene in that movie where he actually gets captured, and Ripley finds him, and when she's looking for Newt, and she leaves him there because he wants her to kill him. He's like, kill me, because he knows he's got an alien, and she's like, she just leaves him.
You deserve this.
That's a cut
that's
scene.
the director's cut.
That's the director's. Well, not even the director's cut. It's not even the director's cut. It's just a cut scene. You can get it
Oh,
on
a scene
YouTube.
that they cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that, but I put that an alien splits his wig. That's what I put.
I like that better, actually.
I mean, that's how they in the actual movie. That's how they kind of leave it. Okay, so you get the
I get the gist of it.
All
You're
right.
gonna have to. I'm terrible at
Most
this.
of these answers will not be
will
that
not be
in-depth.
from
Well,
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew as soon as you said, "Well, actually," and you push your glasses
Yeah.
up on your
Right.
nose. All right, so first one, Sergeant O'Neill.
Sergeant O'Neill.
Oh my gosh.
This is a hard game, Chris.
It's gonna be hard.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be super hard.
Wait a second. I feel like Platoon. I feel like there was a Sergeant O'Neill in there or something.
Is that the guy from Scrubs?
Yeah. That's the exact image
It
of that
is.
guy.
It
Okay.
is.
All right. Cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So from Platoon.
John C. McGinley.
Okay.
It's in Platoon. You got that right.
Yeah.
Does
And
he die?
he doesn't die.
He doesn't die.
He doesn't die. He hides during the invasion.
Oh, he
correct?
puts
he
put
puts
the
a dead body
on?
on top of
Oh,
himself.
Yeah.
okay.
So he doesn't
Yeah.
die. Very
There you
good.
go.
See.
There we go. All
All
right.
right. They only get harder. All right. Next
Podcast
person.
is this?
Boris Grushenko.
Grushenko.
Boris Grushenko. Boris.
Is that from Enemy at the Gates?
No.
Okay, never mind.
It's Russian, so you.
It
were
is,
close.
yeah.
It's Russian.
Grushenko.
Boris.
I'll give you a clue.
Is it from a video game?
He technically is in a video game, but
So this movie was made into a video game.
I'll give you. It's a James Bond movie.
Oh, so maybe like Goldeneye or something like that. Oh, Boris. Oh, he's the hacker dude. He's Alan Cumming.
Yes.
I'm invincible.
And
yeah.
so-
You're gonna have to.
And then what happens to him?
He gets awash and deluged with like liquid nitrogen,
That's correct.
and he gets like frozen to death. Like it's like he's
Flexing?
standing there. Yeah, he's like because like his whole thing is like he thinks he can't die. He's like I'm invincible. Yes.
Oh,
you
just
know.
like from the Quick, or what was that Western movie I had you tell
The
me?
Quick and the Dead.
The Quick and the Dead, the Indian guy.
Yeah.
I am running horse. I could not be killed by a bullet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good death.
He's he's just the biggest coward because one, he like sells everyone out to work with Sean Bean's character. Spoilers.
Yep.
And gets everyone in this facility killed, and then at the end of the movie, he eats it. So
Yeah.
Good.
There's all this stuff, explosions going around, and he dodges every one, and he hides under a desk, and you think, oh, he's gonna live, and then at the very last second, he's like, I'm invincible, and then the canister of liquid nitrogen just explodes and
Oh,
pours
really?
on him, and he gets
Yeah.
frozen.
Frozen.
Like that. Yeah.
wonderful. All right.
Are we 3 for 3? 2 for 3?
You're two for two.
Oh,
We don't
nice.
count the warm
We
up,
don't
but you're
count
2
the
for 2. All right. Albert Wesker.
I got this.
Oh, you please. I know you do.
Albert Wesker is one of the main antagonists in the Resident Evil series, Resident Evil game series, and he starts off as the leader of the STARS unit, but then you find out he ends up betraying everybody. He's been working for Umbrella the whole time, you know.
Which is the most cowardly thing you can do.
Most cowardly. Yeah, he's betrayed.
Turn on your people.
Yeah.
Turn on your people.
Especially when you're in a leadership position. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, where he finally dies is in Resident Evil 5, I think, where he has a fight with Chris Redfield. He injects himself with like the T-virus stuff, and he becomes a super monster, and then you fire a rocket at him, and he blows up. He's like in a volcano or something like that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I just put he dies inside a volcano.
He does that in volcano.
Wow.
Volcano
3 for
man.
3. See, you guys always do this. You psych yourselves out, and then
Well,
you do
I
better.
would be royally screwed with
you-
that strap on probably if Israel wasn't here.
Because these things are getting harder.
Are they? Oh, I see
go.
what you did there.
There you go.
Nice.
I don't know. This next one might be easy. I think it's like a peak. It's a parabola of difficulty. So,
That is good.
All right. General Owen.
General Owen.
General Owen.
And if it helps, I know you guys know who this character is.
Oh, man. General Owen.
A general.
Uncle Owen.
And remember, these are cowards.
Or, I know, that's what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
General.
Bad.
He's a general. There's not many generals.
No, not many
That are-
generals in this stuff, but we've talked about him before. Have we talked about him?
You've definitely talked in depth about the movie that he's in.
What? Jeez. See, it's out of context, you think.
Yeah.
But then when he tells us, like, oh, I talk about that every day, you know.
We've talked about this movie
General
in
Owen. General Owen.
context. It's not like Saving Private Ryan, is it?
No.
Folks, if
Okay.
you know it right now, yell at your
Yeah,
your
yell
Yeah,
at-
phone.
scream at your
Scream
dashboard,
at your dashboard.
or at the TV screen,
Come on,
or
tell
at your
us.
loved one who's holding your stereo up for you.
General Owen.
John
All right, I'm
Cusack.
gonna call time on it.
Okay.
right.
It's in Starship Troopers.
Oh, man.
He's the wiener general that hides in the locker during the battle.
We're all gonna die. Yeah.
So-
and then he gets killed by a flying alien that crash lands at him.
He gets impaled by bug debris.
Yeah.
Bug debris.
So I'll give you a half point for that because you do know how he dies.
Yeah.
All right.
I-
This one's
I should have said something. It was floating around my brain. So.
this guy's very cowardly for multiple reasons, but he's not like a soldier, and it's not even a military movie. But I just love it's Donald Gennaro.
This is in Jurassic Park.
Nailed it.
Whoa, okay.
Dude.
All right, yeah, so it's a scientist nerd.
No, that's Nedry, but it
Oh,
is Jurassic
what?
Park.
Dennis Nedry, Donald Gennaro.
Really, I was thinking the guy that sets the hacker. He eats the cheese whiz, and he's like,
No,
ha, ha, ha.
that's Dennis Nedry.
Ah, you didn't
Oh
say the
my
magic
God.
word.
Wow, but I got the movie right.
You did. You got it really fast. So I was like, oh, he knows.
Wait, so it's Jurassic Park. So we're in the right ballpark.
OG Jurassic Park?
No, it is Jurassic Park,
Yeah, it
the
is
first one.
Jurassic Park is Jurassic Park.
So think of a cowardly person in that.
Oh, is this the guy that hides in the bathroom?
This is the guy that hides in
Oh,
the
okay.
bathroom.
He hides
He's
in
the
the
lawyer.
Yeah, he's the lawyer. He hides in the bathroom. Tyrannosaurus Rex comes.
Tries to wave him off.
The wind? Does the wind blow the
No,
outhouse over?
No,
Or
what's
the
his
tail.
name is running towards the bathroom, and the T-Rex is coming after him.
Yeah, the T-Rex just destroys it
Yeah,
when
Jeff
he hits
Goldblum.
him.
Just
Oh,
running,
okay.
and then
Yeah.
he kind of knocks Jeff Goldblum out and tears down the bathroom, and everything
And
falls
he's
down
just
around
sitting
him.
there
on the
on the
toilet.
toilet, and yeah, he gets eaten by the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay.
I put chomped in half by a
Chomped
T-Rex.
in half by a T-Rex.
So you guys actually got 4.5 out of. Well, I guess it's actually 10 things. So you got 9 out of 10.
Dude.
That's great.
Great.
I'll take that.
Do you want to do the bonus extra difficult one?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. The character's name is David.
There's only 3 movies this could be.
Yeah. Definitely narrows it down there.
I'll give you some clues.
Yeah, give us a clue.
It's a horror movie,
Okay.
but it's a comedy horror movie.
Okay.
And to be fair, I tried to see if he had a last name that would help. He doesn't have a last name character.
Is it
doesn't
Evil
have a last name.
Dead?
Close.
Oh, close.
Oh, David.
Close in like
Comedy
feel.
horror.
In feel. Oh,
Close
so it's a
in
horror comedy.
Yeah, I did say that.
David.
It's not Army of the Dead, is it?
I'm
No,
thinking
that's not a comedy.
like Tremors or something like that, or that's a horror comedy. David.
I'll
How-
give you another clue. Zombies.
Oh, is it a Shaun of the Dead?
It is Shaun of the Dead.
Oh wow. man.
Okay.
Is
Do you remember which one is David?
Is he the boyfriend of?
Is David the fat guy?
No, that's Nick.
It's been a
He
long
gets torn
time.
apart at the end when they get to the Winchester.
That is.
Yeah, okay,
He's the
cool.
cowardly boyfriend that like is threatening to shoot Sean,
Yeah.
and then he gets pulled out through the window by
See,
the
it's
zombie.
been
He gets a
hot
very
minute.
Day of the Dead ending because you can actually see them ripping out his guts and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
which is horrible,
Is
but
that
very
the guy
good,
that
guys.
falls? No, that's hot. That's Hot Pursuit. isn't
No,
it?
he gets pulled out of the window. They all they bust through the window,
Yeah.
they grab him, they pull him, then they pull his guts apart.
See, Shaun of the Dead, and then the movie where they play the British cops. What is
Hot
it?
Fuzz.
Hot
Hot
Fuzz.
Fuzz.
Yeah.
Where the guy falls on the tower.
Oh,
and
the
they
tower
impale-
thing falls on
yeah.
him, and
He
that's-
impales through his cheek.
That's
or-
Timothy
yeah.
Dalton.
Timothy Dalton.
Timothy
He's like,
Dalton.
"Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I always get those. For some reason, I get those movies confused.
It's because
the same guys.
they're part of a trilogy.
Yeah,
it's
the-
Shaun of
oh.
the Dead,
The
Hot
Cornetto
Fuzz,
trilogy,
and then The World's End.
Yeah, the
Oh.
Cornetto trilogy.
The Cornetto.
But very good, you guys. I'm very impressed.
I'm
you did
impressed.
much better than I thought you would
You
do.
walked us into that last one, but so thanks, Chris.
Well, no, I'm not counting the bonus one.
Okay, all right.
That
Okay.
bonus one, I gave you like
Too many
5
clues.
clues.
It was 2.
But it was incredibly difficult. So
It was David.
great job, you guys.
Anyways.
Thanks, man.
Well, awesome, man. I think that was a great episode, and everybody out there should know by now not to be that guy. All right?
Yes. Don't be that person. Don't be that human being.
Don't be that guy, man. Just don't.
Get help.
But do tune in every Wednesday for a new podcast release. A great transition right there, huh? I'm a freestyle god. But do tune in every Wednesday. Really, we release a new podcast again every Wednesday, and then our YouTube should be coming up.
Yeah, YouTube's as of the date of this recording this episode, our editor Amy, she's recovering very well, and so she's
doing great. Strong like an ox.
Yeah, strong like an ox. We're about 7 or 8 episodes behind on the YouTube channel, but they are coming out. She's working hard on them, so usually on Fridays they get released. But just keep an eye out for that. Keep going back to our YouTube channel, which is PCFM Podcast. You can write us an email if you want to get a hold of us. We love reading your emails. Even if it takes us a while to get back to you, we read every single one. pcfmpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to hang out with me a little bit more, I stream 3 days a week on Twitch, twitch.tv/myhappyself. myhappyself, that's me.
And if you guys want to support my streetwear brand or just want to make yourself look good in some fresh old tees, I know Israel's wearing one right now. Looks great on him. Really makes those pecs pop. Check out KitGod on Instagram at KitGodApparel, or go to our website, www.kitgodapparel.com. And as always, folks, cue music.